Okay, so I basically just started this channel. So if you don't know me, I'm Kylie Prowlis, and I'm going to be doing different reviews and analysis on like events, tourism, like different things like that. So far I've done 2 videos. The first was on Sail Boston, which is an event that happens every so often in Boston with tall sailboats. I don't know, go watch it. Second was a recap of 5 different networking events in Miami. And now this video is on the Great Gatsby, the musical, or the Great Gatsby, a new musical. So let's get into it. We're gonna compare that, talk about how it's similar and different to the movie, and yeah, let's get into it. So for some context, I've seen The Great Gatsby, the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, and then I've also read the book. So I'm gonna be looking at it with that in the back of my mind. Also, my younger sister was actually the one who recommended that we go watch this because she really loved the book and the movie. It also happened to be my parents' anniversary, so that was pretty cool. We went to like a restaurant beforehand too, which I'll review. So me and my family ate at this restaurant called SIP, spelled S-I-P. It's very, very close to the theater, so that's why we went to it. The reason I want to talk about it is because I've walked by there before and I didn't know that they actually had a full food menu because I thought that it was just a wine bar, but it's actually pretty spacious in there. The menu was diverse enough. We had actually, my whole family somehow ended up ordering tacos, which is very good. We also got a margarita pizza. And yeah, I mean, we walked in without a reservation. I'd say SIP is the way to go. It's 2 minutes from the theater. Very good. Okay, now let's start talking about the show. But before that, let's talk about the venue. The show was at the Citizens Opera House in Boston. This tour specifically also has a few other locations across the United States, but Boston in this theater, I think, elevated the experience. So why I say this is because when you think of Gatsby, you think elegance, you think gold, you think just high status, and that is what this venue screams. So when you walk in, it's like you can see gold detailing everywhere, incredible architecture, chandeliers. It's just very grand and very elegant. So I think it fit perfectly with the musical, and yeah, I think that kind of adds something to the experience. Also, this is the same theater that has like for the Boston Ballet, the Nutcracker. I've been there for the Nutcracker, and it's also very fitting for that, but for Gatsby especially, it is very fitting. One thing I really loved about the musical is that it did an amazing job with maintaining a lot of the very recognizable scenes from the movie. So that was something I really liked because it was, especially since I'd seen the movie, it was very easy to follow the plot of the musical, and I thought it was more fun because I had seen the movie and I could recognize the scenes. And also the actors and actresses did a super good job like emulating the characters from the movie. So I mean, everyone, the main cast, like Gatsby, Nick, Daisy, Tom, and Myrtle, all captured perfectly, I'd say. Well, the only scene that I'd say I kind of wish that they did like one specific detail differently is, if you've seen the movie with Leonardo DiCaprio, you know the scene where they first introduced Daisy, how she's on the couch, you can't see her at first, and you see the curtains like flowing in the wind. They're really long curtains, and it looks like just super dreamy and just a very specific feeling, which they did not have the curtains moving at all in the wind or anything in the musical. Although they did have curtains, I think it would have been very easy for them to just put like some sort of like fan or other wind type of thing behind the curtains. Small detail, but I think it would have been cool. Another thing that I appreciated is that I am not usually the type of person who likes musicals, but I did think that they had a good balance between actual like dialogue and having songs. Like, it didn't feel like the songs were just randomly thrown in there at any second. The songs felt like purposeful. Like, I thought that it was well balanced, and it wasn't like constant songs. One other thing that I thought was fun about this show, which I don't know if it would be the case for other ones, because I think like the style of Gatsby is very recognizable, is a lot of people dressed up in like Gatsby-esque attire, like clothing that was similar to either like the 20s flapper or just like the general like gold and shiny vibe of Gatsby. So there are a fair amount of people dressed up in that kind of attire, and I actually on short notice before the show ended up having to like buy a dress because I was not really thinking of my outfit choice throughout the day, but it worked out for the best because I also chose something that was Gatsby-esque clothing. So yeah, the one thing I wish, okay, I can see why they wouldn't do this, but I think it would be cool if theaters would mandate like formal attire. I don't see that happening because people don't want to do that, but I think it would be cool to have everyone wearing like formal wear. And talking more about the performance itself, I really liked the design of like the set and how they made it like come to life. They had physical pieces to the set where, say, they had for Tom's car and Gatsby's car, they had actual physical cars that could even move. And they had furniture, and one thing that they reused a lot were the gates that would slide from either side that a lot of the time ended up being used for showing and revealing Gatsby's house. They also, for Nick's cabin, had like the physical front of the cabin, and when Gatsby went for tea at Nick's house, they had other like tables and flowers, but they also had something they used very well was a screen behind everything to show different backdrops. So they used that for Gatsby's house, they used that for the Valley of Ashes, and that iconic advertisement that has the guy with the glasses on. They did a very good job with that. They also used some smoke effects when Myrtle was like hit by the car, and so they had a lot of good things to use with that. Something I thought that was like different about the musical that didn't come across in the movie was some like element of humor at times, which I think was kind of just emphasized by the fact that it was a musical and also like a live performance with an audience viewing it and everything. Like, one specific moment was when Gatsby was getting ready for Daisy to come over for tea. He was like, he's kind of freaking out a bit, and it was kind of funny to watch because he had some like over exaggerated moments where he was like jumping behind some table, and I don't know, they made it funny. Okay, I just had to move where I was sitting slightly because a spider started crawling across the desk and I don't know where it went, but we're just gonna continue on. The last thing I want to talk about is some numbers relating to the show. So the Citizens Opera House seats 2,677 people, and this specific show that was in Boston that ran at the Citizens Opera House was from July 7th to July 19th, which is about 2 weeks, and ticket prices started at about $34, and many of them were between $70 and $100, but could be even more than that depending on the exact location of the seats and how good the seats were. So that kind of gives you an idea of the potential revenue that can come from this. So it's substantial, especially obviously if it's at higher capacity. And yeah. Overall, I'd say this musical was a really great experience, and I thought that it was super good. And I think it was also nice to change it up because I don't really go to musicals that often, so if you're somebody like me, I would also highly recommend it. And if anyone has any suggestions for other types of events I should go to and look at, review, whatever, let me know. I have more planned, but I also do like recommendations, so